Hey everybody, welcome to RCTVs. This is Game Time. I'm your host, Bill Culp. And today, yes, that's right, fall sports all over again. So grab a quick snack. When we come back, we're going to talk to Coach Brubaker about football. See you in a second.
Hey, Dad. I need your help asking Jessica to prom.
Of course. Love is like the ocean. You have to tread the
Oh,
waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Hey, Jessica. Will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
Hey everybody, hopefully you grabbed that snack. And welcome back to Game Time. Again, I'm your host, Bill Culp. And it's fall. And what do you think about when you think of fall? You think football. And joining us right here, Springford's head coach, Coach Brubaker.
How you doing?
I'm fantastic. Days are flying, dude. These years are flying. It feels like yesterday, and it was your first year. You're a veteran now, so how many years has it been?
This is my 12th at Springford.
Oh my God, it flies. Yeah. And you're what is it, is it your daughter or son just celebrate? I remember your birthday because I remember that the
They're
first
all,
year.
like kind of grouped. So we did instead of me biting the bullet and taking the kids out 3 times, we took them out once. So. And the bill was expensive. Let's just put it that way.
At least it's one. All right,
Yeah.
so let's talk football here. All right, you open up, Friday, and coming into the season, what are you excited about?
Well, there's a sense of normalcy. Is actually. I mean, I don't know if that's exciting, but hesitantly excited about the normalcy. We gotta still get through it, and obviously there's things still going on, and but it's nice to be out here, and the practices are normal. Let's just put it that way. Even last year, there were certain things that we had to do during practice, and we're still doing some things to make sure we are as responsible as possible, but it's just nice to be out here and feel like, hey, this is back to football, and not have to worry as much about all the other things that were going on last year. So,
All right, we'll talk about worry. You always schedule a pretty tough matchups out of conference all the time. You load up at the beginning, and then you already have a tough conference. So talk about that out of conference games and how important that is to you and why you do that.
well, we just feel like our goal is always to, and obviously our goals don't change. We want to win the league. At the same time, we want to prep ourselves as best we can for playoffs. So, we start out with Westchester East. When we scheduled that was kind of a last-minute thing. We had some other things on the back burner, and they just didn't work out. But we have them away, and then we go. We're at home against Chambersburg, and then we're away at Cumberland Valley. So that's 2 6A Mid-Penn teams that we play, and they're long drives, and sometimes that's nice to get a long drive and get away and experience something new. So going to Cumberland Valley, which is it's the most storied program in District 3. I think they have 19 district titles since that began. So we're playing them. We played them last year at home, and it was a real tough game despite the fact that they were at the time I think 2-4. But they're playing a really tough schedule, so we need to do that to get ready for playoffs. And then our week 4 game is at home against Manheim Township, who has a Division I wide receiver already committed to Penn State, and they have first period strength class, and they're strong, and it doesn't really matter if they're replacing a lot of players. They're going to be really good. So a lot of people are picking them out of the LL League to win Section 1. So we have a tough non-league schedule, and then we open up the pack play with PV, and unfortunately that's the case this year. I think they draw straws or whatever they do, but we would like that game, and I know Rob would too, like to have that game week 9 if we could every year, just because of the rivalry and obviously the gearing up for the playoffs and that type of thing. But we play them 5th, so it is what it is, and we'll we're loaded up at the beginning.
All right, talk about loaded. Talk about what's your team hopefully is loaded with talent. Talk about the makeup of your team. I mean, what do you look at upperclassmen, juniors, seniors? What's the makeup?
Yeah, it's really interesting. You know, our numbers are up, and I think you'll see that a lot across the league. I think we've had, I think probably due to COVID, there's some kids that have just been tired of sitting inside and they're going out for football for the first time. So I think, you know, if I haven't really done a count, but I would say there's probably 10 kids who never played football before, whether they're sophomores, juniors, or seniors. And that's always fine. You know, we'll love to have those guys come along as long as they're, you know, figure out the culture right away and know what we're doing. So, but I will say what that creates on our roster is a lot of guys that are ready and guys that are not ready to play varsity football on Friday night. So I would say, unlike other years, we have less guys that are almost ready. And we really use those guys for special teams. You know, the almost ready guys, prove yourself that you're ready to play on a Friday night. So that's kind of tough, especially earlier in the year until we start to figure some of these guys out. You know, we're going to have to play more starters on special teams than we would typically like to. And, you know, in the hotter weather, that's not best case scenario, but it's just something that we're going to have to do until these guys, until more guys come around and we see what they can do. So we do have a good senior class. We will have a lot of underclassmen starting as well. We have some guys that are injured right now, coming off injuries, and have, you know, we're kind of taking it slowly with those guys. And but you know, we like what we have, and you know, but you go into this tough non-league schedule and you'll find out real quick what you have and what you don't have. So you know, we're comfortable with what we have. We had a pretty good scrimmage on Saturday. Not great, not stellar, but you know, you try to identify things you need to work on. So that's what we're doing.
All right, and talk about the work. And you mentioned, you know, it's kind of interesting. You have some kids that are going to be playing special teams that are, you know, maybe on defense, offense, and playing a couple different things. How do you do that in practice? Like, you know, because special teams is, you know, people just think, you know, you just go out there, you just, you know, it's pretty simple, but you got to practice that. So how do you balance that, and what do you do during practice so they know, hey, this is what the expectation is?
Well, you know, last week we take the afternoons and do special teams. So last week we had 3 days. So there's an offensive practice, a defensive practice, and then a special teams practice in the afternoon. So we try to emphasize it. Like I said, it's hard to figure out which guys are ready when you haven't had any scrimmages, and you don't really do special teams and scrimmages. But you know, we like our kicker, Sam Herman. He was our backup last year. He has worked really hard this summer, and we expect him to have a really good year. He has a really strong leg despite his stature, and he also can punt as well. So we feel pretty good about that. It's more so the, you know, protecting him and getting kicks off. That's probably more of a concern right now.
Gotcha. All right. So what maybe be an adjective you use to describe your group right now?
Man, you put me on the spot there. Listen, I think, you know, we always emphasize trying to have fun. Like, we want to work hard, but at the end of the day, you know, we want to have fun as well. So we try to treat practice, you know, we're not a team, we never condition. And like, our philosophy is don't hurt tomorrow by what you do today. So we try to take care of guys' bodies. By the very nature of what we do in practice, they should get their conditioning. So we're not the old school, okay, everybody line up, we're going to run 10 gassers at the end of practice. Because it really, you know, research has shown that that's not the best, you know, that's not best practice. So so we have fun, we joke around, but when it's time to work, our guys have done a good job of that too.
Gotcha. All right, one last question. What is your personal goal for you? It doesn't have to be necessarily, you know, a league title or this and that, but what is your goal at the end of the season? You want to sit there and say, okay, I did that.
Well, I'm a big believer in, you know, football teaches life lessons. You know, I don't think, you know, practices are mandatory. You have to be at practice every day. You have to do the things we ask you to do. At the end of the day, you know, football is a conduit to some other things. And some of these guys, most of these guys, will never play football beyond their senior year. And what we want to do is, emphasize accountability and responsibility, and have, man-to-man talks with kids when they don't live up to whatever the expectation is. And, I just introduced a volunteer coach today. You'll remember this name, Gary Hopkins. So, Gary is someone, that's what we want from our program, where we have guys that come back and give back to the program, and we see that they're becoming tremendous young men with a great work ethic. And all those things kind of, I'm a big believer that you can learn those things through football. You can learn them through other things. You can learn them through band, whatever, but this is the path that our guys have chosen and signed up for. So we want to make the most of that. If guys come back 5 years later and they, Gary actually had this moment and he said, Coach, you were right about everything. And I was like, well, I'm not right about everything. Believe me, I'm not right about everything. But I do appreciate that, that as he matured and, went to school and now has a full-time job, many of the things that we were saying resonate with him still today. So that's always the goal for us. We want to win games. We want to win league titles, and we aspire to win a district championship. But ultimately, what's that good for if you're not teaching the right things and guys that come from your program, fall off the path? Guys are going to, but, hopefully we give them, along with their parents, that foundation if they do fall off a path, to have the wherewithal and the discipline and mindset to get back on the path and right the ship. So that's always our goal, and we have just a tremendous coaching staff. And a lot of guys say that, and I'm the only one telling the truth. We have. I was just talking to another coach out of district, not even in the pack, and there's a coach that's kind of hanging on, because he doesn't see anybody on staff that is taking the reins. It could take the reins, and ultimately, we all say that we're not bigger than the program. I'm not bigger than the program. So if something happened, we have 5-6 guys that tomorrow could be head coaches. We have 3 guys that have been, and we have guys that could be head coaches tomorrow. And I'm so fortunate in that vein, because, as a head coach, I'm doing more and more of having conversations with guys. But our guys they cut them off before they get to a point where I have to jump in. And that's just a great thing. And Springford is very fortunate to have those guys on our football staff.
That's awesome. I appreciate you taking the time. You're right all the time. Yeah. I like that. That's a good thing to hear.
No, that wasn't
me. You got
me.
to tell the women that.
That wasn't me saying
That's
that.
what we got to tell the ladies.
And by the way, my wife would wholeheartedly disagree.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. Hey, everybody, grab a snack. Great talking to Coach Brubaker here. Make sure you come out and make sure he's doing everything right. He is right, so don't you worry about that. So sit tight, grab a snack. We're going to talk to Coach Anderson and head over to the field hockey field when we come back on Game Time.
Home fire drills give your family a plan of action. Show everyone 2 ways out of the house, pick a safe meeting spot, and get there in under 2 minutes. Then practice, so everyone knows exactly what to do. Go to ready.gov/fire drill and learn how to prepare your family.
Hey, everybody, thanks for hanging in. It was great talking to Coach Brubaker about football, but now we're over at the football field with Coach Anderson talking field hockey. How you doing there, Coach?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. You got to be excited. I mean, what are you looking forward to right now, at the cusp of the beginning of the season?
We have a lot of good players on our team. We're interested and really anxious to see how they come together on the field. We've been playing against each other for a while, so tomorrow is our first contest against someone outside of our team, so we're really excited to get started.
That's awesome. The difference between last year, like you said, I'm sure these girls had a little bit more time to gel. You've had the time to practice and this and that. Can you see the difference in, being able to, like you just mentioned, kind of gel together?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just whether they're on the field or not, it's just nice to have that togetherness, like you said, on the field. I think it's going to make a big difference for us this year.
Gotcha. All right. You play in a tough conference, and looking at this beautiful field, a lot of teams around here have beautiful fields. What do you see in the conference as your biggest challenge? Not like a team necessarily, but you're just in the conference.
We always play a really tough schedule within our conference, and we have a lot of tough non-league games outside of the conference too. But they're what help prepare us for the season. So we're anxious to get started. Our league, like we said, is always tough. So it's going to show us very quickly what we have and what we can do this season.
Gotcha. All right. And you've had nice talent coming up, younger talent, this and that. So, but talk about the makeup. I mean, you're not that senior heavy, I don't believe. You got some underclassmen, but what's the makeup of your team right now?
You know, it's a mixture. We have 5 seniors who are really doing a great job leading our team, and then we have mixtures of juniors, sophomores, and freshmen. So, like we said, we have a lot of girls who can play field hockey, and the biggest thing for us is just going to be, can we come together on the field? How do they gel? How do they do when they're facing adversity on the field? So, like I said, we're just anxious to get started.
What type of encouragement are you giving those juniors and seniors to kind of tell the sophomores and freshmen and what to expect? Because it is, like you said, it's out of conference, tough conference. You guys play a lot of powerhouses.
Yeah, our upperclassmen, they've been huge for us leadership-wise, whether it's on the field or off the field. They're just doing a great job of showing the younger girls what we expect, how they're carrying themselves on the field as well as off the field. So I can't speak enough about how the upperclassmen have been doing for us.
That's awesome. And you mentioned, out of league and this and that, and you got some tough games. One I'm penciled in October 7th. You play Wilson. My daughter happens to play for Wilson, so I'm looking forward. I wish it was here. It would be a lot nicer, easier drive. But talk about how important those out-of-conference games are.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge because when you get to district, you're not just, hopefully we get to districts, but once you get to postseason, you're not just playing your league team. So it's good to get that experience from Suburban 1, the Chestmont, whatever it may be, because they're the teams that you may face in postseason. So it's nice to see someone else in their style of play.
Gotcha. All right, so what's maybe a word, an adjective you'd use to describe your team right now?
That's a good question. I'm going to say little things. It's not probably what you're looking for, but it's something that we really stress. You got to do the little things, and that'll help us take care of the big things in the overall picture.
Gotcha. All right, and talk about overall picture. Last question is, what is your goal, as a team, and then actually just you as a coach personally?
I guess for our team, we always have a goal. We want to make the Final Four. We want to make districts. We want to make postseason play. So I think that's one of our goals. And as a coach, our staff is trying to lead the girls and not only be successful on the field, but off the field. They are student athletes first. So we're trying to teach them the lessons that will help them not only on the field, but as a person as well in the classroom also.
All right. Well, thanks for the lessons here today there, Coach.
Thank you. Good talking.
Appreciate you joining us. All right. So, hey, you got to come out here and support these girls. This field is absolutely beautiful. You heard her. They got a lot of talent. They're going to meet those goals. I'm not worried about that. So sit tight. When we get back, we're going to talk to Coach Reagan, talk about some tennis when we come back on Game Time.
Hi, everyone. Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that after 75 years, Smokey's only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
But I'm filling in because there's a lot more to report. Like when there are parched or windy conditions out there, you gotta be extra careful with things like burning yard waste. After all, wildfires can start anywhere, even in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Thanks, Coach Anderson, hanging out with us. But now it's time for love. It's tennis love right here. And we're here with Coach Reagan. How are you?
I feel like you used that joke last year, though.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But you have a good memory, so I don't want to doubt it. Well, let's start off like serious, because I like to be serious 99% of the time.
Got it.
Tell the viewers out there is one thing that we share and we have in common. Tell them what that main thing is.
I don't remember.
We both have state titles.
Oh, okay. We both have state titles.
Yes.
I didn't realize they gave state titles for checkers. Is that a thing?
No.
Oh.
No. I won the state title.
Oh, for what?
Baseball, and I also was a beauty pageant.
Beauty pageant. Okay, that
Yeah,
makes more
state
sense.
title,
That makes
Mr.
more
Pennsylvania. So, all right, well, let's get to it. Congratulations, by the way, last
Yeah.
year, state title. You won it, for Springford, the only one girls championship. So, I mean, how you still living off of that a little bit?
No, that's last year. We haven't even said it. I think there might be some freshmen here that don't even know that we won a state title yet last year. Yeah, we're not talking about it. We're talking about, the true is the next match. We're talking about Wissahickon. That's all we talk about today. So we played Radnor yesterday, opened our season. We had a good win against them. And now, Wissahickon tomorrow and Great Valley on Thursday. So we just plug away at this year. Goals are still the same. You win the league title, trying to win the league title first. So our eyes are on the matches straight ahead of us. So.
All right, and you talk about that. I mean, obviously you got freshmen. You've always had you've been building up the program. You got a winning tradition here. What's the makeup of the team this year? I know a lot of times, you know, you've had like, you know, some years where you've freshman heavy, sophomore heavy, lost some seniors last year, but talk about your group this year.
Yeah, I mean, well, we returned our top 3 singles players, one sophomore, one junior, and one senior. So there's a good amount of balance up there in the singles department. And then we have a little bit of everything. We do have a couple sophomore pairs now in the varsity lineup. There's a couple seniors in there, and then 2 more sophomores. So lots of seniors and sophomores, I guess, as it stands today. Sometimes the lineup changes as you go week to week, as you know, some people maybe start taking off, playing better as the year goes on, but we do seem to have a lot of seniors and sophomores in the lineup right now. But throughout the whole team, we're pretty balanced. We have a good amount of juniors this year. That was one of our smaller classes, but we actually got 2 back this year, so that's nice for that group. And we have a couple of young freshmen eager to join and eager to learn and eager to get better each day. So we're pretty balanced throughout.
That's awesome. All right, so you know, talk a little bit about targets. Sometimes, especially obviously when you win a title like that, and you've won the conference for a couple years now, kind of got that target on your back. How do you prepare your freshmen and these girls? Like, what do you talk about during these practices building up to that? Because you guys are on the map a little bit now.
Yeah, I mean, we just try to build on our strengths, you know, try to make sure that we're doing the things we need to do to win points. We talk about that all the time. A lot of times in tennis, people get lulled into just trying not to lose the point, trying to just hit the ball back and see what happens, see if the other team can make a mistake. Our focus every day is on how we can win points. Like, we don't want to take it to chance that they might make a mistake. We want to go out and force them to make the mistake. We want to go out and hit winners. So that's our basic principle every day. How can we get better at winning points? We don't want to leave it up to what the other team can do.
Gotcha. All right. So what are some of the things you're working on during practices and this and that during the week to prepare for your matches?
I mean, a little bit of everything. We try to balance between, you know, game type situations, you know, straight drill type situations, and we usually try to connect them together. So we just did 2 games, one where it preaches just being consistent, and the other one where it rewards, you know, aggressiveness. So we try to back those up so the kids understand that the balance needs to always happen. But our focus, our drills and everything, it's on how can we win points? How can we win points? You know, we're not trying to play too safe. We want to try and be aggressive. You know, with the target on your back, if you will, you want to make sure that you're not sitting back waiting for them to come get you.
Gotcha. All right, you mentioned balance. I mean, and you also mentioned that you had some younger girls step it up, your individual best players. How is that, like, do you still have your seniors kind of take that leadership role, or do you allow those singles, those younger ones to take that leadership role?
I think for us, I mean, normally the seniors do just have more experience. And even some of our sophomores that were in the varsity lineup and contributed last year was just such a weird year. Like, we didn't do everything the way we normally do. So a lot of them don't know how, like, we really want our program to be. They're just those little things, those, you know, the small details. So they don't necessarily even know all the small details that maybe the seniors do that have been here for a couple years, that it was more normal, if you will. So yeah, we definitely rely on the seniors to make sure that they can bring the success that the program has had in recent years and to continue that forward by doing those small things, and all small things matter. So.
I got you. All right, last 2 questions. So number one, what are you kind of looking forward to in the beginning and, you know, in this season, and just looking forward to this?
We love the opportunity to be able to play outside of our league. When we're playing in our league, we have currently a couple teams that are struggling to fill out a roster. Like, they don't even have enough girls. So last year we weren't able to play outside of the league, as most sports weren't. So having the opportunity, just yesterday already playing Radnor, we scrimmaged Unionville and CB East, we play Wissahickon tomorrow. These are some top programs from the district, and it's good to be able to play those teams in the year as opposed to just waiting till the playoffs and then hoping for the best, you know. So we're really excited for the opportunity to challenge ourselves throughout the whole season with adding a couple more challenging matches.
Gotcha. All right, so last question. I know you're a huge Marvel fan. So which Marvel movie are you looking forward to in Phase 4?
I feel like I just heard about one, 10 Rings or something.
Oh,
is
there
that
you
a
go.
movie?
Yeah, Shang-Chi.
I don't
The
know
Legend
what it is.
You got it.
No, I heard somebody talking about it. I haven't seen any of them. No, I don't know.
All right. Well, there you go. Put on your state jacket, grab your trophy, and start watching.
No, that's last year. This is this year.
I know, but you can still wear it.
I probably will wear it. Yeah.
There
When
you
it
go.
gets cold. When it gets cold.
There you go. There you go. Well, thanks a lot for joining us here, Coach.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Oh, he's a state champion. He still is a champion no matter what. And he's going to catch up on that Marvel 4. As he's catching up on that Marvel 4, you're going to catch up with me again. When we come back, we're going to talk to Coach Kissel about the soccer team when we come back on Game Time.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, thanks for hanging in on Game Time. I'm your host Bill Culp, and we're here with soccer coach Brent Kissel. How you doing there, Coach?
Doing all right. How you doing?
I am fantastic. All right, so let's start it off. I mean, this season soccer, you got to be in tip-top shape. I mean, how many minutes? Let's start with this. How many minutes do you think you could last with these kids, and how many minutes do you think I could last with these kids?
Well, speaking for myself, not very few for me. I mean, we're getting into shape. For you, I mean, I don't know. You look pretty fit today, so I think you could hang with them. But yeah, I mean, we've been running quite a bit. We're getting them in shape. So.
I doubt it. All right, you're obviously getting ready for a season, and it's very competitive in this league, and you've done well the last couple of years. What do you think the key is to being competitive this year?
I mean, like, yeah, every year in the pack, it's tough. You know, I mean, it really is. Boyertown's always up there. PB's always a battle for us. You know, for us, we just try to preach the same things. We have some team mottos. We have this kind of saying, we say relentless pursuit of excellence is one of our things, and just this idea that we want to be the best team out there, you know, so in all things as well, like on the field and off the field. So we just try to, you know, build up the team, you know, our camaraderie on the team. You know, we're doing right now some team building stuff as well, you know, first day of school here. So we're just trying to, and as well for this team, it's a young team for us, so trying to build this, you know, new team is something as well.
You read my brain, so you led right into the next question. So what's the makeup of this team? You know, you just mentioned obviously you're young, but seniors, juniors, sophomores, etc.
Sure. I mean, it's a mix. It's a smaller senior class this year. We lost 12 or 13 seniors last year, and before that was another big senior class as well. So, but everybody's chipping in. A good junior group. Some sophomores are on varsity as well. So yeah, it's a younger team for sure, and just I want to say a new team, you know, as well. Like just a team of guys that really haven't played a lot of minutes together on varsity. So you know, trying to get that gel, that dynamic working is something that we're still trying to get together.
Be honest. I mean, is that exciting to you? I mean, in a sense, like, you know, sometimes they like that veterans coming back, but is it sort of exciting to get like new blood and you feel like, hey, I'm really going to earn my coaching digs here?
Absolutely, for sure. Yeah, I mean, you know, the past couple of years, you know who you had, and you know, kind of some positions where you're at. But yeah, for sure, this year it's exciting to have some new guys, and they got some fire in their belly too. Because you know, last year we lost the pack, you know, in a game against Pottsgrove. We've been really struggling to win that one over my years. You know, we're in districts, the semis there. If we would have made it to districts, to that final, we would have been in the semifinals of state. So I mean, we were close. We've been close. So
yeah.
You know, these guys know that, and they want to try to get to that next level. Even though they're a young team, they want to get to that next level. So.
All right, and speaking of being a young team, I know you personally have watched these guys. You usually, it's aggressive soccer. I mean, you look to score. So is this kind of like you don't know these players maybe as much as maybe in the past or this and that? Do you feel like you're going to have to try to get them to conform to your style, or you're still getting to know them?
A little bit of both. We got to try scrimmage tomorrow. We got a scrimmage against Ruston, so we're still trying to see kind of what fits best. But yeah, we're still going to try to do some core principles that we have. We like to get at teams, you know, press when we can. But as well, like for last year towards our last games, we were 1-0 against Boyertown, 1-0 against Westchester East, and we really dug in defensively, which I think was a big factor of our success. That's going to be something that we're striving for as well again this year, just to defensively be cohesive as a team, get behind the ball.
Gotcha. Last two questions. Number one, you know, with COVID and things like that, obviously it's great. You guys are starting, you got a regular season here. Did you find like, you know, like this team building is so important and building up their stamina more than the other year? Like, cause you know, I don't know if they had the chance to do that.
Yeah, it definitely was a compressed preseason last year for sure. So this year, you know, we were out the regular 8:16 and we did our fitness. We're still doing that. And kind of forget the first part, but what was the first part of the question?
The how do you feel about like the conditioning, like, you know, like the camaraderie, like building? Or last year you had to deal with COVID.
Right. Yeah. So I think that is important. We did. We were able to do some stuff, you know, team building stuff. We do college teams. So just trying again to get the guys to know each other a bit from JV up on the varsity, because it is a program that we're building here. So that is important. And again, last year we had opportunities, but not as many because it was compressed. We had to get things done on the field, so we didn't get a chance to do some of these things that we have.
Gotcha. Now, last question: Is it what's harder, coaching high school soccer or maybe getting up with your baby infant in the middle of the night and trying to get to work in the morning?
That's a tough one. She's been sleeping better, so I'm going to keep my fingers crossed for that. But, you know, coaching high school soccer, I love it. My coaching staff loves it. It's been so much fun over these past couple years to be with these guys and have these opportunities and get to know them, and especially see them come from freshmen up to seniors and, you know, contribute to the varsity program. And so it is a struggle. You know, there's definitely some tough days. You know, when you lose, obviously that's disappointing, but I'm excited to see what we can do this season, and I think we have a really good chance, so I'm excited.
All right, I'm going to let you get back to work. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. All right, hey, everybody, you got to hear the excitement in there. So that wraps up our fall preview for our great show, Game Time. So make sure you come out and support all these teams. Until next time I see you at the next episode, I'm your host, Bill Culp. Have a good day.